Hello, my name is Esther Pottebaum, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the history of and the conflict in Liberia. Liberia was founded on January 7th in 1822. It is located on the upper western coast of Africa. Those who established Liberia were ministers in the Protestant Church and used their values just like they used their type of government to form the system of the nation. Muslims were in Liberia before it was established. They were one of several tribes in that area. Newcomers called Americo-Liberians did not allow these tribes to perform their citizen privileges, such as voting, leaving a 5% minority to do so. But these tribes were given more influence with the efforts of the Master Sergeant of the Liberian Army, member of the Quran tribe, and later first native president of Liberia, Samuel Doe. Liberia has had a shifting government ever since it was established. At first, it had three branches of government: the executive, legislative, and judicial, just like the United States. In 1984, political parties were allowed, and 2 years later, the government was altered to be controlled by the people. When conflict erupted around the beginning of the 20th century, Liberia did not have a consistent government. Eventually, the National Transitional Government was established in 2003. This system was to be a placeholder before 2006, when they established a democratic government. Liberia's president holds this office for 6 years. The United States has played a large role in Liberia over the years. The American Colonization Society contemplated sending released slaves to Liberia. Their plans were finalized in 1821, and the first slaves landed there in 1822. Although they did not officially establish Liberia as a country, they contributed much to its population and popularity. In 1847, Liberia declared itself free from the American Colonization Society. Also, the United States helped Liberia reduce its sizable debt. Teddy Roosevelt helped bring a $1.7 million loan to Liberia. Also, Liberia's defense against borders was strengthened by the United States, but the result was not satisfactory. Liberia took a damaging blow after World War I, as their economy was reduced 1/4 of its previous size. Later, the United States gave Liberia a second loan in an American financial advisor, which helped to steady the country again. At the start of World War II, Liberia and the United States became allies. The dollar later turned into their currency in 1943. They also worked together in trading. Liberia was constructed out of values many Americans hold to be true. Freedom was a significant theme in the establishment of Liberia, since slaves were sent there to be released. The love of liberty brought us here is their slogan. Liberia means place of freedom in Latin. In God We Trust was the motto of a group of Christians who wanted to separate from Liberia. Also, Liberia first had a government with the legislative, judicial, and executive branches of power as the United States government, as previously stated. Liberia has experienced much tumult over the ages. The central reasons for the disarray have been the involvement in government, Americo-Liberians, and problem with nearby countries. All of Liberia is not represented in government because limited people get involved. Also, the Americo-Liberians took advantage of the position and assumed authority over those in low status in Liberia by giving unequal access to services, assets, and justice. A civil war began after Samuel Doe, a native of Liberia who was elected president, was killed. Liberia also had trouble with its neighboring countries. Charles Taylor, who would later be elected the current president, began strife with Sierra Leone that lasted 10 years because he sought their diamond resources. In the end, this controversial fight caused 10,000 casualties. Other problems have arisen with Sierra Leone, as well as Guinea and Côte d'Ivoire. These problems include elites partying across borders, poor control over natural resources, and illegal trading with arms, drugs, and minerals. Over the years, Americo-Liberians have not gotten along well with indigenous Africans or other immigrants. The Americo-Liberians are a group of people in the privileged high status of Liberia. but their position leaves poor Liberians at a disadvantage. William Wade Harris, West Africa's most famous missionary, was imprisoned after starting a revolution. He wanted to prevent Liberia from being oppressed under the leadership of the Americo-Liberians by bringing Liberia into the hands of Great Britain. In 1980, President W.R. Tolbert was killed, which left the Americo-Liberians with less control over the country. In 1985, history was made. The first native to become president, Samuel Doe, was elected. Unfortunately, his presidency was filled with more conflict. A civil war began after he was killed only 5 years post-election. This civil war reaped no small consequences. Casualties numbered 200,000 and refugees 1 million. Based on my study of Liberia, the African colony for free blacks was not an entirely good idea. Although they sought liberty, trouble later ensued between the citizens of Liberia and its neighboring countries. But the Americo-Liberians were actually the ones who caused much trouble for themselves by assuming superiority over the native Liberians. From this ancient conflict between Americo-Liberians and native Liberians, civil war erupted and left a stain on their history. As an alternative, the slaves should have stayed in the United States, where they had established themselves already, yet to be given privileges equal to the white citizens of the country.